For one night only, you could play the Traitors Live experience alongside former Traitors players and other famous faces at a special evening presented by Claudia Winkleman, raising money for comic relief. You could take on the likes of Rochelle Humes, Nish Kumar, Rosie Jones and Scott Mills, and legendary players including Linda, Mina and Diane. For your chance to enter and to see full T's and C's, go to comicrelief.com/traitors. This message was brought to you by Comic Relief in partnership with the lovely people at Acast.
Are you a lifelong fan of General Hospital? Are you a new fan who wants to know more about the history of the show?
Do you enjoy talking about the show with others?
Do you find yourself yelling at the TV?
Is your self-care an hour a day in Port Charles?
If so, we invite you to join hosts
Amanda Kimmel
and Shannon Coach at the place where all the hidden conversations take place and secrets are revealed.
Meet us at Pier 54,
a General Hospital fan podcast. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the General Hospital recap for June 23rd through 27th, 2025. We don't have any Port Charles pipelines this week. However, on Monday, June 30th at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, so 7 p.m. Pacific Time, we are going to be live with James Lott Jr. We've spoken with him before a couple of years ago, I think was the first time that we spoke with him.
It's been a while.
It's probably 5 years ago. We've done we've been on one of his shows before too.
Mm-hmm.
The past couple of years have just been crazy that we haven't been able to coordinate with anybody. And now in the past week, we got 3 invitations and we're able to make all of them work. So it's great.
Yes.
So this upcoming Monday, June 30th on YouTube. So if you go to YouTube, just look for JLJ Media. We are going to be on the Hosts of Soap Opera Podcasts Roundtable. He's done a few. He did one with our buddy Vinny. I believe Vinny was last week, actually. And so he has this series going on with, and it's not just General Hospital. So if you watch other soaps and you might be interested in learning about other podcasts, go there and just watch us on Monday the 30th too. So 10 p.m. You can obviously go back, but I guess it'll be live and you'll be able to actually ask questions in the chat and stuff like that. So yeah,
it's going to be fun.
I'll be tired. 10 p.m., but doing it for James. It's going to be fun. And I think we're going to be on with somebody else too, but I could be wrong. Yeah, because there was other people on with the other ones too. It looks like maybe 2 shows on each round table. So it might be you, me, and 1 or 2 other people. So that'll be fun.
I'm excited. It will be fun. Love talking GH.
Always. I wonder what he's going to ask us.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I asked.
I wonder what we're going to answer because he likes to keep it spontaneous.
That is true.
And sometimes has more faith in us than we do because he's like, you'll be fine. Are you sure?
We will be, though. I mean, think about it. We do our other interviews and everything. We have a guideline and everything, and we wind up off topic. We talk about people's cats. We talk about luggage. You never know what we're going to talk about with people. So who knows?
That is true.
But I do enjoy James, so this will be fun. And then, as we mentioned, also with our buddy Vinny, that's just going to be the name of like anytime we talk to him, our buddy Vinny. You can vote for the Sudsy Awards, and we are going to be presenters. We are going to be pre-recording our section, so it's not going to be live, but it is going to be in the podcast show notes. And I am sorry, I forgot to share it last week on social media. I will try to remember to do that this week.
I will remind you.
You will try to remind me. Yes, you will. Because this is just where we both are right now.
True.
And this upcoming 411, like flip the title that it's Lucky 39 and Lucky and Liz 31, because it really is more heavily focused on Lucky. It's talking about kind of like his relationship with Sam, the biotoxin spears.
Mm-hmm.
And it does, I feel like it focuses more on Lucky, but there is still Liz stuff in it. So
right.
Lucky's going first on that title. I think that's it. Did you have anything?
No.
Oh, you sent me.
Oh, it shows
picture.
you what Facebook group had posted it because I don't want to be stealing other people's credit. Do you have it? Or you can make me look it up.
I don't know what group it is because it cut off the name.
Even if you tap it, it doesn't show you?
Well, you sent me a screenshot.
Yeah, if you tap the picture, oh man.
Yeah, but it doesn't show the whole name. It looks like there's a dash. So I don't want to get the name of the group wrong because I know that there's a lot of groups.
All right. Hold on. Oh, I see. It doesn't. It just says General Hospital fans. It doesn't. Whatever. Okay, so I don't know, but it was one of the General Hospital fan Facebook groups, and it is announcing that on July 10th, the GH actors will be on Family Feud, which I just think is going to be hysterical. I cannot wait to hear their answers that are things we would never hear them say on GH, but they're absolutely going to say them on Family Feud because that's where you say things. And from the picture, it looks like it is the actress that plays Lois, the actress that plays Anna, and the actor that plays Curtis. So there's 2 more people in that, but it doesn't show me who.
I was going to say, I'm like, I feel like there's people missing. So, maybe it'll be a mystery.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it is a mystery because we can't see.
It is a mystery. I'm sure if you look up Family Feud, you can find it, but I wasn't that invested. It was just like, a random scroll through Facebook, and then I was like, hey, that's GH characters. Oh, that makes sense. It's a GH fan page that posted it.
Let me see. General Hospital. Oh, it's General Hospital Fans Official is what the O stood for.
All right, perfect.
So, yeah, I just didn't want to get the name wrong.
No, I appreciate that.
What group you read it from, yeah.
I thought you were saying that like I cut off that part, and I'm like, really? Even if you tap it, it doesn't show up. But no, because I didn't tap it to go onto their page because then I'm scared that I'll see other spoilers. So when I see stuff come up, I just like you got the gist of it from that, so I wasn't tapping anything to get more information from them.
The General Hospital team includes Finola Hughes, Kathleen Body.
Oh, yay! Yeah.
So we remember that Obrecht is a person.
Right?
Coming back now that they're talking about Brit a little bit more. Oh, I hope so.
That would be awesome.
Maurice Bernard, Tanisha Harper, and Raina Sofer. Yay! Awesome, awesome, awesome. That's exciting.
I know. I just can't wait to hear the answers. Like I said, it's going to be so funny.
Yeah. I'll have to watch it. I mean, I watch like the clips and stuff that you see on social media, that the silly ones and everything. I might actually watch this one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it's kind of like a dry week. And this upcoming week, here, real quick, let's remember, happy 4th of July, because I had a feeling we were going to forget it. So everyone have a happy 4th of July.
Thank you for that.
But next week should be shorter too, so it should only have 4 episodes because of the 4th. Sometimes they do still have one though, so who knows?
Who knows?
Let's check it out. Will there be a new General Hospital on July? Nope. ABC will air an encore presentation of a previous episode from July 7th, 2023.
Oh, wow.
What happened on July 7th, 2023, General Hospital? It's 2 years ago. Shots ring out at the Metro Court pool, and Kristina realizes how much she can help Molly and TJ. Perfect. I'm really glad that's the one that they're showing.
Yes.
Okay,
oh
anyway.
Gosh. So that would be whenever Curtis got shot. So it has been less than 2 years since he got shot, and he is 100% recovered.
Perfect. Great. We're glad that we're bringing that back to attention.
Yeah.
All right. So this past week, on Monday for Hulu headlines, Tracy makes a public display. Jordan and Curtis take trip down memory lane. Portia is rattled. Kai shares his plans with Trina, and Nina is taken aback. On Tuesday, Nina seeks help from an unlikely source. Carly pleads with Michael. Drew gets some inside information. Portia lashes out, and Curtis reassures Trina. On Wednesday, Dante and Brook Lynn discuss Gio. Alexis seeks out Elizabeth. Martin gets bad news. Marco makes a delivery. Cody follows orders. On Thursday, a conversation with Sonny leaves Carly concerned. Jason gives Dante a new perspective. Lulu has advice for Lucas. Brooklyn doesn't like what she sees. And Marco makes a discovery. And then on Friday, Sonny is in for a shock. Jason and Carly walk down memory lane. Daisy's loved ones. Oh, why didn't they show any footage of that?
I know.
Oh.
I was so disappointed.
When I was watching it, I wasn't thinking, but now I'm like, they should have shown Jason holding, maybe they will during the christening. Maybe they'll do the flashback as Jason is holding baby Daisy as godfather, and then they're going to show Michael.
Oh, that would be sweet. Okay. All right. I'll let them wait. Cause yeah, I did think as they were talking, like, we're going to flash back to a picture. It's going to be so cute. And then they just kept talking. And I was like, what are you doing? Show me baby Michael pictures.
That's what they're going to do. because the godparents hold the baby during christening, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not Catholic. I don't know. And then on Friday, Sonny is in for a shock. I mean, I've been to them, but I just
Yes.
don't know that I've really ever.
Yes.
I didn't want to be wrong.
Well, thank you for that. Yes.
Sonny is in for a shock. Jason and Carly walk down memory lane. Daisy's loved ones gathered for her christening. Anna faces some tough questions, and Chase and Brook Lynn make a realization. Where are we starting?
I think I just gave you wrong information. They don't hold them during the actual pouring of the water. They stand there next to the parents holding them.
Okay.
But they're they would be in that shot. That's what I'm envisioning as you're talking about it. Everyone's crowded around the baptismal fountain.
Yeah. But so here's my question. So is Jason Michael's godfather? Would he have given himself as is Jason?
Wasn't Sonny wouldn't Sonny have been his godfather? Because Jason was claiming him as his son?
Who is Michael's godfather? General Hospital. Mike.
Oh, okay.
His godparents are Mike and Emily.
Okay. That's sad. They're both gone. Okay.
Well, that's what I was trying to figure out. So, yeah, Jason would have been as acting parent. Oh, so we're just going to see him holding Michael and holding Daisy while they're being christened.
Yes.
At some point, he'll be holding her.
Right. No, he'll definitely hold her. They just don't hold them during the actual pouring of the water.
Okay. But they're right there.
They're right there. They're right there. Yeah. Because you all make promises together, to be there for the kid. So, I mean, I don't know if that's
Emily held
optional.
their promise.
They did. They were very. That takes you back to, I guess that makes sense why he was explaining to Joss why she wasn't chosen as godmother, because I felt like that was a weird conversation. But if Emily was Michael's, then it makes sense that that's what he was thinking would happen. Since Emily was Jason's sister, then Michael's sister should be it.
Well, especially since Michael's been very. Well, here, let's just talk about the christening.
There you go.
Since Michael has been very intentional about making sure his family understands that Sasha is. This is where I'm kind of just getting confused, because she's letting them in for a lot of stuff for someone who doesn't want them to be an active part of the baby's life.
Mm-hmm. She's going to have to reconsider at some point in time, because it doesn't make any sense. I want to be the one in charge, which means I want you to have no custodial rights whatsoever. But this baby's going to know that you're her dad, and you're going to see her, be at her christening, be at her birthday parties, be at her holidays, blah, blah, blah. But then at any moment, I could just decide it's not in her best interest for you to be involved, and then you're not going to be involved anymore. It's not going to work. She's going to get a relationship with him. I mean, they're obviously letting Wiley and Amelia have the relationship of older siblings. Daisy's going to get used to them being around. You can't just suddenly decide that you're cutting them off. She's not going to understand that, even if Michael would. That's not how it works. So, I mean, maybe they're not going to end up with an official custody agreement, but she can't just, this week you're the dad, this week you're not, this week you're the dad, this week you're not. No.
Well, it's going to get confusing.
Yeah.
And so she asked Felicia to be godmother, and we already knew, in the hospital, she asked Jason to be godfather. So that was sweet. And Carly, because we opened the week with Carly talking to Michael about, can Daisy wear the outfit that you wore when you were wear the christening gown that you were christened in,
Mm-hmm.
And it's why are we kind of twisting that knife in a little bit more? And I don't want to say that, because Sasha's not doing this in a mean, vindictive, hateful way. It's
right.
And then all Robert and Holly sent was a huge oversized elephant.
I don't understand that.
Not even a kangaroo. Come on.
I don't understand why that's all that they sent. Okay, if they're not ready to come back, I get that, but I feel like it would have been and a plane ticket for us to come visit them soon or something like that. They want to see this baby. And then also I would like a better explanation as to why Mac isn't there, because Chase said he would love to see Mac, Robert, and Sonny all standing around the baptismal fountain as she's getting baptized. And wouldn't that be a sight? Blah, blah, blah. And Felicia's like, yeah, well, Robert and Mac aren't going to be here, so you're not getting that, blah, blah, blah. But she never gave any explanation as to why. I feel like there would be a really good reason other than just like work or something for Mac to not show up.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's not like there's some big travesty that just suddenly happened that obviously Mac has to be on the scene 24/7.
Exactly. So I don't get it. I mean, again, I understand if the actor couldn't be there because there could have been a reason why he was not, but give him a story as to why he's visiting Robert, whatever, then, oh, he's just not there.
And it just suddenly came out that this is even his great niece.
Yes.
So understandable that he would not have been around.
Right. But seeing how involved Felicia's been, it makes no sense that he would not be there if he didn't have a really good reason.
Right. I don't know. And Sasha repeated herself twice, the same thing to Felicia about not really talking to Holly.
Yes.
It was once on Thursday and then once on Friday. And I was like, why did we just repeat that? And it wasn't in the way that, you know how when you trail off on the end of an episode and then they repeat the same thing picking up? It wasn't that. It was...
Right.
So I don't know.
Yeah, it was like a whole separate conversation where she said the same thing because then Felicia ended it with like, well, let's give Holly a chance to see. When it was like, okay, Holly's had plenty of chances and she wasn't great with Sasha. Why would we think she's going to be any different with Daisy?
Right.
So, yeah, it was a pointless conversation. I'm also questioning the security at that church because we hear Carly say, was it Carly who said, I want to go check security, blah, blah, blah. And Jason's like, no, Sonny and I already went over all those plans. There's plenty of security. And she says, you know, I saw there was a lot of guards out there. And he was like, yeah, well, there's a lot of guards out there that you're not seeing. There's plenty of people, you know, for protection, blah, blah, blah. And then just in walks Natalia with no one stopping her. Like, I'm assuming there's a list of these are the guests you should be expecting to see. But Natalia just walks in and sits down and no one on that security team stops her.
Well, especially where Carly intentionally said, we're not going to have any crashers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like we saw the security guard running after her.
Nope.
And I mean, maybe because it wasn't actually the event yet, that they were just getting set up.
No, because he said they closed the perimeter after they did their initial check. So she could have come in.
Maybe that's why they let her in. But also maybe all the guards don't necessarily know that she's not on the good list anymore.
I feel like there would be a very specific list, like at a wedding. These are the 25 people that are invited. Don't let anyone whose name's not on the list in here.
Right.
So.
I don't know.
I don't know either. But I don't know. I felt like this week was very anticlimactic. Like did you
feel like you missed something half the week?
Right. It was like, did I not pay attention? But then as I watched stuff and like rewound a little bit here and there, it was like, no, I watched that. Like I was paying attention. Just nothing really happened. And so just on Natalia, since she was the one that, you know, came in uninvited or whatever, felt like we saw her have the same 10 conversations also. Like, she talks to Brook Lynn and is like, hey, I want to let you know that there's money here that shouldn't be here. And Brook Lynn asks like the totally reasonable question of why didn't you let me know this whenever you first saw it? So it's suspicious that you saw that this was a transaction that shouldn't have happened. And you made a copy of it on your own hard drive to take home, or jump drive, whatever, for you to take home. So you knew that it was wrong and you were trying to use it in what capacity. And then she has the same conversation with Marco again that we've already seen her have, but then this time alludes to, oh, you know, but I'll be out of your hair. You won't have to deal with me. And he's like, what are you talking about? I made a deal for you. If you leave the country, I could be arrested. And when they find you, you're going to be arrested. And you're doing what? You're leaving with Sonny? And she is on, like, her and Sonny have been some happy, romantically involved couple for, like, ever. They're going to go wherever they're going because she doesn't specify to Marco. They're going to go wherever they're going. And no, Sonny's not going to live there with her forever, but he's going to come visit her often, and they're going to like make this relationship work. What relationship? You've been broken up for so long. Like, what are you talking about?
But they also didn't even they never actually got there.
No, it was just like the closeness of her finding out information that she shouldn't have found out. And then Marco says, if you walk out this door, that's it. I'm done. And so she says to him, that's pretty much how our relationship has already been. And she walks out, and then she goes to Sidwell and is like, our son doesn't want to talk to us anymore. He was trying to talk to you. You didn't want to have the conversation. What are you talking about? Yep. And Sidwell's like, well, I can't really help you. You know, your relationship with our son has sucked ever since you told him you didn't accept him. So I don't know what to tell you.
Right. It doesn't make sense, because then she's having like that whole Sonny doesn't really care about me, like that whole inner monologue, the monologuing to herself, and it didn't make sense.
It didn't make sense, and the placement of people didn't make sense, because the guy that came to pick her up was like, we're leaving now. Sonny's at the christening. He was never on the itinerary. Like, you need to get your stuff together. Let's go. And she's like, okay, I need an hour to get ready. And he says, okay, I'll let Sonny and the pilot know. And then he leaves with no one else there to guard her. And so she has this whole conversation with herself about how Sonny must have lied. They're not in a relationship, and she's not going to be with him. And then she walks out the door and no one stops her. And that's how she ends up at the church. So yeah, his whole security team on both sides of that need fired.
But then also she tells Sonny that, what did she say? Something about, you just expect me to give up like my whole life. And I'm like, what life? What life? Your kids aren't talking to you. You are no longer going to be working for deception. I'm not trying to say that.
And she even says that
she doesn't have a life there. She's not from Port Charles. Her family's not there. What life are you holding on to here? Your murderous ex-husband is in town that you're afraid of, but obviously you did something to make him mad.
Right.
So what are we holding on to here, girl?
Yeah. And what does Sidwell have on you that you were feeding him the information about things, because he did know stuff that he shouldn't have known. And it wasn't enough to get his protection from everything that's going on, so you have to count on Sonny. That's a problem. Like, he's supposed to be so powerful, but he can't keep you protected, so you still have to play Sonny's side, and now you're just going to end up disappearing.
Good point.
I don't get that whole family. I don't understand what any of them are doing. I don't understand why Sidwell wants the peers that they just want to use for something for the community, so he shouldn't have control of them for long, even if he acquires them anyway. I don't understand what Natalia is doing in town, because she's not close with any of her family, like you just said, and she can't keep working for deception if she's concerned about getting in trouble for seeing Sonny send money over that's not clean.
Right.
And even Marco, like, you're there to defend your dad, but then we hear him telling his dad, like, I don't want to be involved in your shady business. So you could have done that from Miami.
Right.
It seems like he could be doing this from somewhere else, or at least not in Port Charles necessarily.
But he is, because of his dad. Has nothing to do with his mom.
Right. Right.
So.
But he was still trying to be nice to her.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But then Lucas gives, because he was ready to call the cops on Natalia.
Yes. I love Lucas.
And Lucas told him not to. That's going to be interesting.
Lucas told him not to because he didn't have definite information of what was happening, and so not to jeopardize that relationship with his mom for no reason.
Yep.
I feel like that's a Lucas thing to do. Not saying right or I don't know exactly what type of ramifications that could have for Marco, but I get that's just how Lucas is.
Right. Well, your mom burnt the bridge, but that doesn't mean that you also have to do it too. I don't know. I don't understand, like you said, like, where is this relationship coming from? I don't understand what we're doing with Jordan and Curtis. Where did that relationship come from? Why there's not been anything, unless I missed something,
I mean, I felt like you saw that they had a friendship still, and it made sense because they had a relationship before. They had continued to be in each other's lives because of TJ. Like, it just makes sense that they would continue to have to figure out how to be in each other's lives. But Portia just likes to over exaggerate everything and be jealous for no reason. And
Well, there's been no flirting. Like even during their walk down memory lane, there was like a little bit of, they obviously talked about things that happened while they were together, but I still don't even feel like that was necessarily flirty. It was like, oh my gosh, look how far we've come from when we didn't care about if we had air conditioning to now she's getting a new apartment because she can afford it with what Sidwell pays, you know?
right.
And like, they were just kind of talking more about, look how far we've come, you know, since back in the day when you were a starving PI and now you're the CEO of this big corporation and, you know, stuff like that. It wasn't, remember when we did it all over the place?
Right. I think she's done a really good job of being respectful. And she's even said that to him the few times that he's crossed the line. Not that he was being sexual or whatever, but discussing the issues that he's having with Portia of being like, hey, listen, you know, there's certain things that we shouldn't talk about, lines that we shouldn't cross because we have had this intimate relationship and that's not where we're at right now. And we did see her discuss with Anna last week that she's having feelings that she doesn't know how to process. And Anna asked her about it again this week, but she still has not acted on those. She has not done anything affair-like yet.
But it's even understanding where she's getting those feelings from. Like, we didn't see that. That didn't
I think they're just underlying feelings. Like sometimes you have to deal with people that you had relationships with and the feelings are just there no matter what.
Okay. I'll accept that one.
I feel like it's built off the past, not off of anything that's currently happening.
Okay. Because that's where I was getting confused. Because I'm like, I have not seen her look at him longingly. Like, there's not been any of that. And if anything, I mean, she wasn't exactly happy to break up with Isaiah.
No.
It was a need to. But then we see him talking about all that stuff with what happened in my marriage with Jordan, you know, and it's like he's almost talking wistfully about, man, if I had just thought this way when I was with Jordan, we wouldn't have divorced. You know, like that's how I feel like he's talking. And that's just, again, kind of weird. I don't know.
I don't think Curtis knows like what he's doing. And then Isaiah, which is like brought it up. And he's just mad that he's not with Jordan because whenever she said, you know, after Portia did the whole drink thing, she was like, I'm not sure where that came from, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, really, if you're that blind, then you need to take a better look at yourself. And it was like, I don't think anything with Curtis affected their relationship at all.
So later in the week, we saw Portia and Curtis having it out and then almost getting it on. And Jordan walked in and Portia has that smug smirk on her face. But do you think that they're going to have her because we started the week with Portia in the locker room and Isaiah walked over in a towel and he's like, you need to take care of yourself. And so he took her to the pool. And then that's where she saw Curtis and Jordan happened to both be at the pool at the same time. He came up for a quick dip and she decided to go too. Like they didn't plan it. There was no coordinating of schedules or anything. They just both happened to see each other. And that's how I never pictured that you would have been here. Like that's how that whole conversation even started. Right. But then I feel like, are we going to have Portia have an affair with Isaiah?
You know, at this point, I would be okay with that if it is what finally ended their marriage, because I'm so tired of Curtis like being straight with her. Listen, I'm not ready to say I want to work on this marriage right now, but like he wasn't filing divorce papers, he wasn't seeing someone else, he wasn't doing anything. He was just saying, I'm not in the headspace for this right now. And then she keeps pushing him. Like every few weeks we see this and he's like, you know, you betrayed me with the Trina paternity, you've betrayed me with this stuff. Like I don't know where I'm at. And then she throws it back at him and is like, well, you weren't honest either. Those were not the same things. No. They were not the same things.
Well, and then she got mad at him for, you keep throwing Trina in my face. No, what he's throwing in your face is your pattern of, and he's giving you the examples of this is what you keep doing to me. Like it started with Trina. Did it start with Trina or was there more earlier?
Right.
Because also she lied about Taggart. She lied about being married, so he hasn't even brought that one up. He should bring that one up.
He should.
And be like, we only got together because I didn't know you were married. And then we broke up because I found out you were married.
Right.
So.
Yeah, she acts like such a goody two-shoes, but her whole history is lying for her own, whatever it is that she wants.
Yep.
And then she's doing excuses of protecting people. Like, I'm sure she didn't tell him that she was married to Taggart to protect him or Taggart. And then whenever it all blew up, I'm sure she had an excuse for how it went down. And then she didn't tell them about Trina's true paternity because that was to protect everyone, blah, blah, blah. It's
right.
No, you're protecting yourself to get what you want and then turning around and spinning some story. And that's not what Curtis was doing whenever he didn't tell you the truth.
No.
So.
Not even a little bit.
Nope. But yeah, she says that. And then she says, so you're telling me it's over? And then he looks at her and grabs her and throws her up on the desk. And I just wanted to fast forward.
Thankfully, it was the end.
Right.
That's basically where we ended.
You knew that Jordan was going to walk in. And so, as they started, I was like, can you come now, Jordan? Can you walk in now? Can you just end this? Please don't let it get too far because I don't even want to watch this.
No, it's just, we need to change this. We need to move on from it. Not interested.
Right.
I like Jordan and Curtis together, but I don't want this to happen. I don't want Portia having an affair with Isaiah unless, like you said, if that's what it takes for her to finally, because then as soon as, he did tell her that he had a relationship with Jordan. So yeah, they're definitely going to have an affair because she's going to do that to hurt Jordan.
She already did that to hurt Jordan. That's not whenever everything started with Curtis. How many times you have to do the same thing, woman?
Well, Portia doesn't learn.
No, she doesn't. And Trina kind of called Curtis out on that this week. She was like, hey, how is mom in trouble? What's going on? I need some details. And he's like, no, nobody's in trouble. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And she's like, no, listen, Kai heard you guys talking and I need to know what's going on because now Kai's working for Congressman Kane and I need to know what everyone's getting into because I only have half information.
She doesn't even have half of it. She has an eighth.
Right. So I was shocked that Kai told Drew what he overheard, though.
I could not. Especially after, and we have to give Portia the credit on this one, how kind she was talking to him about him needing to have his own opinions about Drew and to not let their family drama and what happened with Curtis impact that. But she did give him a little bit of a warning. But she did not tell him. I think she did tell him not to trust him, but she didn't really seem to try to get in the way. Mm-hmm. Even though that would protect her daughter.
Right.
So who knows? But yeah, I can't believe Kai did that. Oh, that is not going to work out well for him.
It's not. Because Drew is just a user, so he's not going to get any type of step up for giving out that information, and it's going to ruin the relationship between him and Trina.
Oh yeah, easily. There's no coming back from that.
Right.
Well, because it's going to take Portia down.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But so Kai also made such a smart move saying, oh, someone so-and-so is on the phone for you. And after Tracy went back on, oh my gosh, I loved that entire.
That was great.
The way that they had her framed in the seal behind her. We need that on a stamp. Mm-hmm. We need Tracy to run for office. Ooh. Maybe Tracy should run against Drew.
Oh, that would be nice.
Or when he gets, I don't know what's going to happen right now, but that'd be something. Mm-hmm. But so Tracy shows up to, give her supportive speech to her beloved nephew, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And she's starting to read the prepared notes that Martin gave her. Mm-hmm. And she just stops and is like, nope, can't do it. This is not no, this is not
Right.
how this is going to happen. Martin said that Drew stood for like honesty, integrity, and family or something like that. And she's like, you know how much he loves his family? He had an affair with his nephew's wife. And, now they're divorced and like all this stuff. And because before the conference, he was talking about how great it's going to be a quarterman again and blah, 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 blah. And she's like, not for long. And then Cody winds up showing up and says that. So I picked up on this last week when Michael said something about, isn't that a horse stroke?
Mm-hmm.
And I was worried. I'm like, oh, no. I like this, Michael. Let's not have him frame Cody.
Right.
Instead, it was, let's talk to Cody. Let's come up with a solution. And Cody says, yeah, so I borrowed Tracy's car and I must have, left some ketamine in it after I picked it up for Hades, the horse, for its ketamine treatment.
Yep.
And so then Tracy was exonerated and Drew doesn't have to be a quartermain anymore. And that's when...
It was just great the way that they did it, because first Cody said, I know that Drew didn't put the ketamine in Tracy's car. And so all of his people instantly assumed that he was there on Drew's side and was going to prove that it was not planted. And instead, he tells the whole story of how he used the car and whatever. And then he's like, I even have the receipt right here. And after the fact, Tracy's like, how did you even get that? And he's like, I don't know. I have the receipt somewhere for something. But yeah, this is just a piece of paper I pulled out and they can't question it. It was on TV, whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they could have.
They could have, but they weren't.
He was playing a very dangerous game with that.
I mean, in that moment, they couldn't show that it was a real receipt or not a real receipt, like the real receipt from that day. So yeah. As far as everyone watching TV, which is who really was judging this case, it was a receipt or whatever. And then,
but they could have checked to make sure it wasn't from CVS or something.
Yeah, I don't know where the receipt was from. If it would have held up, if they actually looked at it for more than that. But Martin goes to reach for it and then ends up falling off the stage. And so now he's in the hospital with all kinds of issues and trying to figure out a way to sue for the fact that he got hurt.
And even Rick said, you can clearly see you fell off.
Right.
Sorry.
Exactly.
Sorry, that's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm glad that Martin's back, though.
Yeah, me too.
And then what else happened from that? Oh, we saw Willow and Nina talking more about the fact that she's going to marry Drew, and Nina is backing off. Nina is, you know what? There is absolutely no reasoning with her right now. So I just have to let her do this and just be here for her when she falls and when Drew hurts her.
Right. Because she was being ridiculous. Like, so Nina tries to talk to Carly and Carly's like, we've gone through this before. There's no way of reasoning with her. I don't know what you want me to do. I was, talking to Michael, that this is how it all came out, whatever. And then she's talking to Jason and she's like, hey, Jason, is there something that you could do to help? And Willow comes up and is like, Jason, you can't intimidate me and my mother, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what are you talking about? That's not Jason. Like, you should know him well enough. He was the one who was working with you and trying to get you to go see Michael in Germany and figure out some type of plan without this getting destructive to your guys' future relationship as far as the kids go. And you really think now he's threatening Nina? Give me a break.
Right.
It's just stupid.
Well, she probably thought that it was on behalf of Carly.
But even then, we all know Jason well enough now to know that he does not do stuff like that just because Carly says so.
Oh, no.
So she's just dumb. And she's digging her heels in even further because Michael was like, oh, she said something to Michael again about visiting him in Germany. And he was like, you never came to see me in Germany. And she's like, the nurse even went and asked again. And she said, you were adamant about you had no desire to see me. And he's like, that didn't happen. No one talked to me. And instead of even giving him a minute to like, oh, okay, let me see if I can figure this out because I was there, this did happen, she buckles down and is like, okay, well, you're lying and now I'm going to be with Drew for sure. We're getting married. There's nothing you can do about it. And he's like, yeah, over my dead body are you getting these kids back, okay? Like,
Yep.
not going to happen. Knowing all the things that have come up lately, not even if you wanted to think about your boyfriend being involved in them, would you not try to investigate what's going on a little bit more?
Right. Especially where Michael has now repeatedly said, I didn't know you were there.
Right.
Like, of all the somewhat horrible things that he has been saying, why would he lie about that one?
Right. And especially now that they're not in a court of law. Like, if that would have been
Right.
something major, not that you should perjure yourself, but if that would have been something major in the courtroom that he would have lied about, fine. But in his living room, that would have been his opportunity to be like, yeah, I turned you away because I wasn't going to see you because you're a jerk, blah, 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 blah. And instead,
Right.
he's like, I had no idea you were there.
Once again.
Exactly. I
don't
hate
know.
seeing her this dumb.
We need to move on. We need to get going where we're going with this. Is Drew Shiloh? Let's tear that mask off. Let's figure this out.
Right. She needs to find some documents or talk to Wiley and realize that the stuff that people have been saying is true.
Right.
Or as much as I don't want it to happen this way, overhear Nina and Drew talking. Like, the girl needs let in on all the information.
Yeah. Who else knows about Nina and Drew sleeping together that would tell her?
Isn't it just Ava?
I think so. Oh, poor Ava. Are we done with Willow and all that stuff? Poor Ava. Laura is just there to get tickets for the art show and, just thumbing through the new book.
Right.
And just off the cuff being like, I'm actually not going to be able to make it. I'm so sorry, but would you mind if I give the tickets to Elizabeth because she loves art, and she knows that Liz and Ava are not exactly best friends.
Right.
But also, I don't think she realizes what's going on. And then Ava's just sipping on her dragonberry juice and says that, Rick got it for me. And Laura's just like, oh, wow, he must be working on commission for that stuff because he brought some to Elizabeth, too. And then Ava realizes that Rick lied about where he was, lied about how quickly he got there.
Yeah.
He said that, well, I have that quick sports car. That's how I got from Beecher's Corner. And that's where I was. And really, it was with Liz.
Yep.
And I know last week we kind of got mad about the fact that Liz didn't tell Alexis that she knew. But I was kind of really loving that Kristina told Alexis that Liz knew.
Yes.
I like how that rolled out.
Right. I'm glad that Kristina is being honest with the people that she needs to be honest with and letting people realize, number one, way too many people know the truth, so this isn't going to stay a secret for long. But also, like, hey, quit trying to make deals behind my back because you don't even realize the people who know. So,
right. But also, Alexis told Liz she deserves to be in jail.
Yeah.
But ultimately, if it wasn't for Molly, she would be.
Right.
And I think that's what Liz kind of got at too. It was, I'm not going to hurt you guys any more than you already are, and she even said, like, I do think that Kristina was going through a lot. And, she's like, I'm not going to add to that. I'm not dead. So we're good.
Right.
But yeah, they're still trying to do the whole, what did she say to Lucas? What did Liz say to Lucas about I guess the people in the hospital are talking behind their backs about Liz and Rick and about how Rick is there every single shift to see her. And, it's like the whole will they, won't they? And she's like, ew, no, we won't. No, they better not.
They better not. Right. No, I will be so mad. But Lucas did say they're not really talking about you. They're talking about how pathetic it is that Rick is here every shift that you're working.
Right. Just because Jonathan Jackson had to go be a great dad doesn't mean we're getting Liz and Rick together.
No, that's just gross.
Yes. Ew, you know what else is gross? Are they going to have Lulu and Gio hook up?
No.
Were you picking that up, though?
I think that they just did it wrong. Like, I don't think that was the original intention. I think it was to show that Brook Lynn's going to blow up whatever this stuff is that she has about Rocco. Because
you know what I think
mad.
It is? I don't think Rocco knows how he was born.
Oh, really?
That's what I'm wondering if he doesn't know.
Okay. I just kind of assumed. I mean, I guess he was little by the time they got him back. What'd they say? It was like 9 months later that his name was changed or something?
Right.
Okay.
And like, why would you tell your son perhaps that, well, your Aunt Maxie was supposed to be carrying you, and then she miscarried, and then she went to the doctor, but the doctor had already stolen the other eggs and implanted them with herself so that she could hook in Dr. Patrick Drake, and then it wound up not being Dr. Patrick Drake's child, and it wound up actually being you. That's a lot for a kid.
I guess that's true.
So maybe they were waiting for the right age to
give that information. Yeah.
But
Because they did kind of harp this week. Yeah, that might be it, because they did kind of harp.
It was more on the name change. It was more on the name change and stuff like that.
Right, and they like highlighted Lulu saying, I would never lie to my kids. And so
that's why I thought that.
We're going to expose the lie. But the joking around with Geo and stuff, I think was more to make Brook Lynn jealous that she didn't have that like mother-son relationship that he was now getting from Lulu.
Okay, I hope you're right, because
no, that would be beyond gross. No.
That is gross. But then also we saw him rescue her from the drunk guy that was hitting on her.
Yes. I mean, I like that.
And he was standing there all buff and everything, like.
Right. And the
so
guy's
that's why I was wondering, is she going to be like, my hero? And then he's going to retaliate and be like, well, I need to be thankful for you because you're the one who gave me my identity. And how can I thank you?
I'm thinking that for once, this is where Lulu will have a chance to be like a good person. And whenever she's talking to him, it will be comments about, I'm excited for you to form a relationship with your brother and
my son.
Right. And I know that you're mad about how everything went down, but your dad honestly didn't know that your mom was pregnant. So, you got to kind of ease up on that some. I think it's going to be more of a building block between the people that he refuses to speak to than an inappropriate relationship. Because I can't. That's gross.
Hope so, because when I got that vibe, I was like, no, we are not doing this. That is disgusting.
I agree. They made it a little too cozy with the way that she was like, what's the rules about me dipping my feet
in the feet in and everything
after? Because that's normally where we see, like we just saw it with Cody and Molly last week or whatever. That's how we sit when we're being flirty. But I don't think it was supposed to be that.
They have way too much glass around that pool. I won't even. The other day, I contemplated just going and putting my feet in, but I had a glass of wine, and I was like, I'm not bringing this up there. And it would have just been me for 10 minutes, and I wasn't doing it.
I mean, I think you would have been okay, assuming it was like your first or second glass of wine, not finishing off the bottle. So
I think I would have been okay also, but that's how much you don't bring glass around.
Yeah. They don't have to think about it. They're the Betro court.
That's true.
And, they just had to get all that glass out of it last year whenever Kristina fell into the pool. We never heard Carly or Olivia complaining about the cost of a new liner or filtration system then. So they must have a industrial pool that can deal with all that.
Or the cost of cleaning it out, emptying it, the lost cost of beverages not sold and people not hanging out up there.
That must have not happened. They just grabbed the scoopy net, got the pieces of the window out, and were like, pool's open. It's fine.
Right. We'll have a treasure hunt for the kids. Whoever finds the most glass wins. No, we didn't see that. And we didn't even see. We could be wrong, but I don't feel like we actually even saw the pool closed.
I don't remember them talking. I mean, like, obviously in that moment it was closed.
Right.
For like the investigative part of it, but I don't think it was closed for more than like a day. Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting. Who knows?
And then what else happened?
Oh, Rocco and Danny are working at the Metro Court pool.
You saying that with a awe voice. We're going to be conflicted opinions here. Go ahead.
You don't think it's cute that they're working there? I like that they're working there.
I like that they have jobs because they need to learn responsibility. I did not like that Lulu went to like watch them because that's weird.
Nope.
Like, I'm sorry.
I thought that was weird. Listen, I took a picture. I did kind of feel bad when Rocco said she took a picture of me like I was in kindergarten, and I did take a picture of my son when he had his first day at work.
Yes, at home, absolutely. I took a
But
picture.
I did not go check in on him.
Nope. When Megan worked at Dairy Queen and I had to pick her up, I was like given instructions of if I wanted to get ice cream, then I had to go through the drive-through and I had to time it in that like 3 minutes of she would be off shift. So she wouldn't be the one making it, but she would also be like in the back taking off her apron or whatever so that they didn't realize that that was her mom ordering the ice cream because God knows she couldn't be embarrassed like that. So if I had to like showed up and dined in and been snapping pictures or whatever, oh my gosh, no.
Yeah.
That was not good. And I was okay-ish with Tracy doing it because that is more of like a grandma type of thing. But I also like that she like stuck to her guns of like Lulu said, well, I just assumed you'd give him a good tip. And she was like, well, if he earns a good tip, I'm not just handing him money. And so
I loved that.
Yes, so that was good. I was okay with them not realizing that the towels needed to be washed in between every guest because like I kind of feel like that at home. I know we're family, not strangers, but like if you just dried your hands off on that towel, yeah, I still can take a shower with it. It'll be okay. Like I'm not rewashing it because you dried your hands off or whatever.
Right.
But that made sense. But in the end, when they were horsing around like they were going to jump in the pool after Gio had already told them twice, no, you cannot swim in the pool. You're in uniform. That's not allowed, blah, blah, blah. I didn't feel like that was something that either one of them would have done. Like, I felt like you were making them more immature there. And we haven't seen
That's the only...
Okay. All right. So as long as
that was my problem with it. Like, I think it's sweet that they're working. I love it. But I don't think that they're that delusional and stupid when it comes to the value of work.
Right. And like for Tracy to be like, okay, I'll take you boys home. You can swim in our pool. And then to say to Brook Lynn and to Jason and Dante, like, oh yeah, it was totally fine. We were horsing around like we were going to go in the pool after Gio told us we were not allowed. That doesn't make any sense. Like I just feel like that's dumb. I mean, I can understand being annoyed if I worked somewhere in the heat all day. Like, sure, I want to take a dip real quick. But for them to say it like they didn't understand why they couldn't be seen in their Metro Court outfits jumping in the pool, they're not stupid. Like, why are we acting like that?
That is something that should have been talked about during orientation, I feel, because any restaurant that I ever worked at, we were told, if you are in uniform, this is what you can and cannot do.
Right. You don't sit down and join your friend's table when you're still in uniform.
Not even when you're off the clock. Like if you were still, I remember it was such a big deal when we were finally allowed to have a drink at the bar at one of the restaurants that I worked at. Because even off the clock, you could not. It was, we could not. If we went to the restaurant, we could order a drink, but we could not be off shift and go up to the bar. And then they said, as long as you are completely out of uniform, you're allowed to. And then it got lowered to, as long as you have a hoodie on or like you have something covering your shirt.
Your logo,
as long as the logo's hidden, you're fine.
For one night only, you could play the Traitors Live experience alongside former Traitors players and other famous faces at a special evening presented by Claudia Winkleman, raising money for comic relief. You could take on the likes of Rochelle Humes, Nish Kumar, Rosie Jones and Scott Mills, and legendary players including Linda, Mina and Diane. For your chance to enter and to see full T's and C's, go to comicrelief.com/traitors. This message was brought to you by Comic Relief in partnership with the lovely people at Acast.
So, like I said, I like that they're getting, although at the same time, I kind of feel like even though I know that I've instilled a good value of work in my kids, sometimes I do think that they don't have the same values that I grew up having. I don't know if that just made sense.
No, I mean, I can understand that sometimes they don't have the same like work ethic, perhaps, or they don't have the same thought processes whenever it comes to how things should be done or what is just a, you know, to us, it's a standard way of doing things, and they would question it because I feel like things are more relaxed nowadays with lots of things. So the rules are different. But I feel like, again, pretty much any of our kids, I feel like if their boss said to them, even if their boss was their friend, knowing that they're on the clock or just getting off the clock and their friend is still on the clock, that they would not challenge the direction that their friend gave them. If I tell you wipe that table down and then go clock out, you're not going to be like, oh man, I'm not going to wipe that table down, blah, 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 because you don't want to get your buddy in trouble either.
Right.
Now, maybe...
Well, especially when you just found out that guy's your brother, too.
Right. And especially on your first day when you're trying to make the best impression. Now, maybe later, in your friend's basement when you guys are drinking, you'd be like, man, you were a jerk to make me finish this, and this before I could clock out or whatever. Sure. But you would not on work premises be like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to jump in the pool even though you already told me twice that I'm not.
But also I feel like it's kind of out of character. Both of those boys have made questionable decisions that are typical of teens, but they're not bad kids and they're not disrespectful kids.
Right.
They are. Yeah. I feel like they definitely would have had more respect for the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I just like that. I like that they have the jobs at the pool.
Right. And especially because Lulu and Tracy were still right there. So again, I don't think it would be in their character to do those things, period. But not with your mom sitting there too.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm glad that they got jobs, and that's cute for them to have whatever. And we had heard Charlotte has a job at Lila's Kids, so that was cute. Mm-hmm. Although we're never going to see Charlotte. Why did we bother to bring Charlotte back if we're never allowed to see her?
I don't know. We could have just kept her and Valentine away. Right. We didn't have to get rid of Valentine.
Right, but they talk about her like Rocco or Dante said to Gio this week, oh, I got tickets to the Philharmonic concert series in the park, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You want to come with me and Rocco and Charlotte? So I liked that he was still including Charlotte in sibling activities because he was a really good stepdad to her for a while.
Yeah.
And Gio's like, yeah,
well,
he
still is. That's the thing, is that even though Lulu and Dante aren't together, he's still her stepdad. That's
right. Right.
Still, and I think Valentine even supported that relationship to stay.
Exactly. But the fact that he's following through, because, sometimes people don't. So.
What?
I know you're shocked. Sometimes people don't.
This is brand new information.
And then he says, if you don't want to go with me, I bought the tickets for people to enjoy the music. You could just go with Rocco, with Emma. I wanted to say Trina, and I knew that was wrong. Emma or whoever. Go ahead and hang out. And he was still like, no, that's okay, blah, blah, blah. But I was like, that was a nice gesture of trying to reach out and get some type of relationship going. And I did like the fact that they kept Charlotte in it too. Even though, again, we're just never going to see her.
No.
Oh, well.
I think Gio did a good job of also being in that conversation where he's like, no, dude, I'm not going to be your son. But at the same time, he didn't even acknowledge, but he just didn't give him a hard time. But he saw that Dante was at least trying something. Well, because Dante and Brook Lynn talked about, Dante came in after Brook Lynn was done talking to Marco. And he's all like, how do we get Gio to talk to us, whatever? And she's like, we have a different issue with Gio right now.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, that Lulu can say all that stuff to Gio about Dante not knowing, left in until she's blue in the face, until she's in another comatose frozen coffin thingamadoodle. But the issue is not the fact that Dante didn't know. The issue is how Dante treated him without even knowing he was his son.
Right.
It had nothing to do with, and that's the thing that no one seems to be understanding. And Gio has said so many times, but he didn't like me as a person before he knew I was his son.
Yes.
But then Dante apologized to Jason. So I can't remember what the Hulu headline was that but it made it sound like Jason did something. No, Dante acknowledged that Jason's a much better dad than he gave him credit for.
Right. Because he gives Danny space and waits for him to come to him. And then he talks about struggling, waiting for Gio to come to him. But I also feel like I understand the intention because I would probably do the same thing. But also, he bought tickets to a music thing, and Gio's questioning his whole love of music and involvement with music also because it showed the flashback to him breaking his violin on stage. And so, like, you need to dig a little more, Dante, and find out something else that he likes besides music, because that's not where you're going to make a connection with him right now.
Yes, but to be fair, I understand why that was the first thing that he went to.
Yeah, again, I would probably do the same thing, but I think that that's where we're going to see a relationship being formed, is if he does something a little different.
Well, I mean, if he starts sleeping with his dad's ex-wife, they can have a bonding moment over that.
No.
Ew.
We're not hooking up with people old enough to be our mother. That's gross. We did that with Ava and Morgan and Kiki. We don't need to do it again.
Nope. I just had a thought as I was saying that, and now I can't remember what I was also thinking. What was I thinking?
I don't know.
No. Nothing's jogging my memory either.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to move on to Ava then, since I just said her name. Her and Cody are getting closer because she got a call from her art guy that normally hangs the new paintings or new artwork, and he canceled on her. And so she's like, oh no, I have a gallery with art to be hung, but no way to get it done. And Cody was like, I'm pretty handy with a hammer and some nails. So they're trying to build that relationship from that perspective too. But then it was also questioned of why does that even need to be done? Because obviously Rick is all about Elizabeth. And Kristina was like, yeah, but Elizabeth's never going to go for that. So it's not actually going to happen. And I don't know how long that's going to keep Rick interested. So I need Ava to mess up too.
Right. I just don't like it. And I know we've talked about this now ever since this plan came to light.
We never thought we would like Molly with anyone other than TJ, just because that's what we've seen since she was like 15 or whatever. And then they did that disastrous hookup with her and, oh my God, Sasha's husband.
Brando.
Thank you. I kept wanting to say Corbin. I'm like, that's not his first name. Anyway.
You know that was disastrous? Explain that a little bit more.
The fact that it just didn't go anywhere. Like, I wanted it to do more for Molly. Like, I wanted her to, like, I think it says a lot that the first time that your boyfriend of 1,000 years that was going to be your life partner, blah, 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 yells at you and, like, kind of sort of breaks up with you, you go sleep with somebody else, like, that easily. Like, maybe there were some other issues in your relationship that needed to be looked at. Not in, like, a judgy way, but in a... Because, again, that's not Molly's character. She wasn't hooking up with a whole bunch of different people. So the fact that that was her reaction, maybe there was already cracks there that if we would have looked at, we wouldn't have ended up in the whole predicament of fighting over all the baby stuff and whatever the same way. True. So, yeah, it was just disastrous because they could have either done without it or done more with the storyline. I felt like it was kind of pointless.
Because I thought that you and I both liked it. Like, that we thought it was interesting. That's why I was like, wait a second. I don't remember you hating it. But no.
Yeah, no. Exactly. I didn't hate it.
It could have been done differently.
Yes, I didn't hate it when it happened. I just thought it was going to push us somewhere else. And since it didn't, it was kind of just like, meh, we made a disaster out of something for no reason. And then put it all right back together like 5 seconds later. Oh, you were kidnapped? I didn't know that. Sorry, I hooked up with someone else. That's okay. I forgive you. Let's get married and have a baby.
Right.
So.
Oh, and by the way, here's the dude. Oh, you slept with her before she was my wife. Cool. Nice to meet you.
Right. Exactly.
For that 5 seconds that we were broken up. Yeah.
Yes. So, I think we thought we were going to have a hard time seeing Molly with anyone else. And then her and Cody just kind of like fit together and bring out like a different side of Molly that we haven't seen in a long time. Mm-hmm. And to know that now we're going to disappoint her. I don't know that break her heart is, I don't know that she's there that invested yet, but disappoint her at least that we're going to see Cody trying to hook up with Ava. Like, that's not fair.
We've already seen her disappointed because, you know, she was drinking a beer.
Yes.
She was wearing a sundress, you know? And I don't think that she's doing it to change for him. I think she's just exploring letting go a little bit and being a little bit more relaxed.
Right, exactly. She like
My
teased
husband did that
Alexis
to me.
about it. Yeah, and that's good.
Like people always like that knew me before. They're like, JD relaxes you. Like I am not, I don't want to say as worried. I can't really think of the phrase, but like that's one of the things that people told me the most was that I just seemed more comfortable. And we haven't seen Molly like that. Even with TJ, like it always felt like there was structure.
Right.
If that makes sense.
But yeah, exactly. That's
Okay.
what their relationship was. I mean, and it worked for them. That was fine, but they weren't out doing spontaneous things. They weren't being silly with each other and that kind of stuff. It
Right.
was very much like they were boxed in their relationship.
Yeah.
And it worked for them, and that's fine until it didn't. And so now it's
Right.
nice to see just a different side of Molly. So
Yeah.
I don't want to
But it's
be
also
disappointed.
authentic. It's not being untrue to herself because I also think
Right.
that she might be trying to embrace a little bit of Sam.
Yes, yes,
You
yes,
know?
yes.
So, but she's not, it's not like she's going to be pulling a Sandy from Greece and completely changing.
Right.
You know,
right.
it's, oh, wait, I can put my briefcase down and ride a horse. You
Yes.
know, stuff like that. I can wear a dress and drink a beer.
Mm-hmm.
Little things that we, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I hope that, I don't know.
I would like to see Cody just stop it and be like, I'm sorry. I have feelings for your sister, so I can't pursue this other woman. And that's just how it is. And like I said, there's so many people who know what Kristina did. I don't know how it's not going to come out some other way anyway.
Right. Right. I don't know.
So, I know I'm like way backtracking, but on the christening stuff, whenever we saw Michael talking to Joss and explaining why she wasn't the godmother, he was like, so you and mom were busy while I was gone. You were at Easter Island and blah, 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 blah. That's going to be interesting trying to see her not be truthful with Michael because that's been her like person.
Yeah. And he's going to be like, so where's all your photos? And
Right.
he's not going to buy.
That
You
she
didn't take a single selfie?
Right, exactly. You're a young girl and you didn't take one selfie of you in this. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. I'm excited for him to be the one that's like, this isn't adding up. Or for him to see an interaction between Carly and Brennan and her and be like, no, something's off here. Because Carly's not seeing anything because she's so smitten with Brennan, which is just blah.
We just don't need him.
Right? He doesn't serve any purpose.
Ooh, but the Sidwell thing, who was Carly and Sonny were talking about, are you absolutely sure that Sidwell has nothing to do with the bombing? Because then we saw Sidwell go out on the parapet and look down, and it looked like, I'm imagining that something is coming to Windermere that he is kind of surprised to see. Oh, I did like that at the beginning of the week when he was having brunch or lunch or something with Lucy and Marco was invited. And she's like, oh, I thought it was just us, you know?
Yes.
I can't figure out if he's actually using Lucy or not.
I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. I feel like at the very least, he knows that she's a good ally to have because of where she is in deception. She is the real estate person. She is friends with Sonny. That was weird. She's like, oh, so Sonny wouldn't sell you the piers? Okay. And then she shows up at Sonny's house with some oranges? Like, I did not know Sonny loved oranges that much.
They are not that kind of friend either.
Right?
She's not Lois.
No.
She's not.
No, he called her out in like 2 seconds. So you're here, Sidwell sent you? And she's like, well, not exactly, but... And then he shuts her down and is like, but thanks for these oranges. They're great.
I think the only real connection that they have is the nurses' ball. And
right.
The thing is
he's such a good benefactor.
And she ditched him this year, though.
Right.
Well, because that's what Carly brought up, was he's gotten himself attached to some very important people and causes, such as being the main benefactor, the only benefactor for the nurses' ball.
Right.
So what is he doing?
Yeah, I don't understand. Then we saw him with all those pictures of Sonny's family, and he met with Ezra. And it's like, wait, a minute ago you were dealing with Drew. Why are you talking to Ezra now?
That was the other thing, is that he's funding Ezra's campaign. Did we know that? I don't think we knew that.
I don't think we did. No. I didn't know that at least.
So he's funding the campaign. But that kind of makes sense, because if he is funding the campaign against the person who he held captives mom.
Right. And we know that Laura
That
is on
makes sense.
Sonny's side. Yeah.
Right. But like, where does Ezra fit into this now? I don't know. They have to give us something soon
Yes.
because it's mind boggling and we're
Right.
losing people for no reason.
Yep. I didn't understand that interaction with Sonny and the DA either. She shows up with that box and is like,
Right.
why are you sending me gifts? And he's like, I didn't send you a gift. And I thought at first that he was like teasing and he did send the gift, but then he called everybody and was like, I just had an unexpected visit from the DA. So what? Did you send the present or not? I honestly don't know. And if you didn't, who did?
Right. I don't know. I couldn't figure that one out either.
Okay. I'm glad that we're on the same page because, yeah, I thought definitely he was just messing with her because that's what Sonny does. And maybe he's getting a little bit of crush on her because he loves to like people that he absolutely should not be involved with. But then he was so shocked that she came to visit him. It didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. I'm glad we're I don't knows together.
Well, I feel like every now and again we have these weeks where things just didn't make sense altogether. And it made us feel like, did we miss an episode?
Yeah. It was a lot of random information, but it didn't really connect us to anywhere. Like, I know we don't want to solve everything in a week because that's the whole point of a soap is that it like takes a lifetime to figure it all out. But usually you're pointed in one direction or the other. And everything this week was just, wait, what? I don't understand. Like, again, Sasha and Daisy. You have a baby monitor right there. You can look at the baby monitor if weird things have been happening. Are you not looking at the baby monitor as you're making tea? Because you can multitask there. And then they're making it seem like, oh, maybe it's just normal, like mother's brain.
Baby brain.
She put the milk in the cupboard or whatever. But then she goes up to check on Daisy, and Daisy's in a different onesie and turned the opposite way, obviously too young to have flipped herself around. And instead of like raising a real alarm about it or watching the monitor intently, she then is talking to Cody later and is like, things have just been happening that are weird. And he's like, well, the hospital, that was a mix-up. I understand why you're concerned, but not a big deal. Blah, blah, blah. And then she says about the onesie and stuff. And he's like, well, you have Michael and you have nannies and whatever. And she's like, yeah, nobody did anything. Okay, I'd be sleeping in that room with my baby then.
Mm-hmm. I would not be sleeping.
Right. Or having that monitor on in my face 24/7.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah. And it's not making sense. It's not, I don't know. There's just like so much that's just really not making sense.
Right.
And the thing is, it's not like, at least I feel some of it is not, it's not making sense yet. It's just, so who is messing with the baby then? It can't be, Drew can't be getting in there, right?
No, I wouldn't think that it was Drew. My first instinct would be Willow because she's losing it and, subconsciously
that was mine
jealous
also.
Of whatever. But at the same time, I don't really see her doing that either. And I don't see if she's creeping into the Quartermain house. I mean, I guess they could just not be showing it to us. But if she's creeping into the Quartermain's house, she's peeking in on Wiley and Amelia sleeping, not messing with Daisy.
Right.
So I don't.
And I don't feel like she's that kind of broken.
Right. But if you want the baby, like you would just steal the baby. It seems like this is more of messing with Sasha. But why does anyone want to mess with Sasha?
Right. I don't know.
And I can't think that it would make Michael look bad in any way. Like if we tried to make Sasha, like if it was Drew, trying to make Sasha look incompetent, that would just be another baby that then Michael would get custody of. So that wouldn't hurt his case as far as him being the custodial parent. It would just show that he's a better parent to another mother's kid too.
Unless they show that she was in an unsafe home because people were able to access her and do those things.
I guess so, but I don't think that Drew.
I mean, that's
smart.
the only. Yeah.
Well, and we've seen Drew talking at what should be at the same time as these incidents are happening. So I don't know. And I don't understand the point. Because again, can we just leave the poor girl alone? She's been
Right.
through enough. She finally has her
Right.
baby.
We gave her a beautiful baby. Let's let her just enjoy being a mom.
I would be okay if all we saw of Sasha for the next 2 months was her sitting in a rocking chair singing to Daisy. Every few days, oh, she's putting Daisy to bed. Oh, she's putting Daisy to bed. Don't put that poor girl through anything else.
No.
Is there anything else? I know we read the Hulu
so.
headlines, but like I said, this week just felt so blah.
It was weird. And I don't like it for what should be the middle of the summer excitement, it's
right. This is by 4th of July, we're usually seeing couples falling in love and seeing other couples fall apart and stuff because everyone has to go see the fireworks. And we know what happens when fireworks are out.
Well, we are kind of seeing that with the Curtis, Portia, Jordan stuff.
If they make Isaiah and Portia kiss under the fireworks, I'm going to be angry. Do not waste fireworks on them.
Yeah, I don't think that's... I didn't really take very good notes this week.
I'm telling you, nothing really happened. That was the problem.
So, yeah, I guess that's it.
Reality check.
So what's your reality check?
Nothing too exciting. My mom's still in the nursing home. Good days and bad days. So we'll see. She's getting physically stronger. So that's important as far as, hope. What we're hoping for is eventually she'll be able to go back home. So it is important that she has her own strength to move around and stuff. So
yay.
Like I said last week, anyone that would like to send up a prayer, good thought, whatever for her, I would appreciate it because she is super religious. So that would be very helpful. And then we had a movie date last night with Madeline, Matt and his girlfriend. The F1 movie came out and they are obsessed with F1 racing, the three of them. And so we went to see it and Madeline was excited because they had it looks like a racing helmet, collector's popcorn holder, blah, blah, blah. So we let her get that and then watch the movie. It was actually good because I was kind of thinking, I was going to watch Matt and Madeline watch it because Madeline has, the real race car drivers in the movie. So I wanted to see Madeline react to seeing them and stuff. But I was kind of this is a movie that is just going to be watching cars drive in a racetrack formation over and over and over again. I don't know that I really want to watch this, but it actually had a really cute storyline with it too. And I don't love Brad Pitt or hate Brad Pitt. He's just never really done anything for me one way or the other. Even when we were younger and people our age were in love with him, I was just kind of nah, he's whatever. But he was good in this movie. I felt everything they had him doing was appropriate. They weren't trying to make him an overly sex symbol like they used to do back in the day, but he also wasn't old man either. So it was nice.
Nice.
So
I like Brad Pitt. I think he's funny.
Yeah,
but I would never
what I imagine his personality to be. This movie showed that well because he was cocky, but just enough with the confidence. And then at the same time, you saw an underlying oh, he has a heart. He does care. He has feelings here. And then he was joking around with people also. So I have no idea what he's like in real life, but that's what I would like to imagine him as. And so it fit with that. But it was a long movie, though. It was almost 3 hours. I had to pee so bad by the time that it was over because just sitting there drinking a huge pop and munching on popcorn. But other than the length of time, it was good. And it was nice to get a better understanding because the kids talk about the race is here this week, the race is here this week, the race is here this week. And I wasn't really understanding how they progress or why you get to sit where you get to sit on the track. And so it kind of explained all that stuff more. And I was oh, so there is a rhyme or reason to why these are parked this way or why they're taking pit stops at this time and what tires they use and all that kind of stuff that before Madeline would talk and I would be yeah, sure. Soft tires or hard tires, whatever. So yeah, good movie. I would recommend it.
See, I was into stock car for a really long time, and it's just probably in the past 15 years I haven't, but I had a Jeff Gordon birthday cake for when I turned 16. The week before we went on our honeymoon, I had won tickets to the Poconos to go to the race, and we got in the pit Like we
Oh,
got to go
wow.
down on pit row. And I told JD, I was like, I know I just married you. And he was so sweet because he didn't walk with me. He walked in front of me and he got all these pictures of me basically stalking Jeff Gordon.
Oh, that's cute.
And then he got pictures of him signing my pass and it was great. But you just see, I'll have to send them to you because there's a couple where it's like Jeff's maybe like 2 people in front of me and like we're walking. So it's, it wasn't like a stop and meet and greet. It was a walking thing. And I'm kind of like walking and like I just have like my head like bop up. I'm like, and he has,
that's cute. That's very cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, those things are
Just
expensive.
one of those things I just got out of, even though I absolutely loved it. Like I'll go to races still. Like I like doing that, but
Well, that's cool that you won that though, because I mean, I know the F1 stuff's outrageous because Matt was talking about wanting to see a race, and I was like, well, we could go to Vegas because there's one in Vegas coming up here. And his girlfriend was like, well, he promised me that we'd go to our first race together and that we would do one out of the country. So as much as like I don't mind hanging out with you guys, you're not jipping me on my another country trip and to see F1 there. And I was like, no, absolutely not trying to take away from your plan or whatever. But Madeline is like, well, you said you could book the hotel, so like let's go. And I'm like, yeah, I could book a hotel. I can't afford tickets to watch that race. So unless you can see it from the window of the hotel, you're out of luck, girlfriend.
Aw. Yeah,
So.
I've gone to two races and they were both at the Poconos.
Oh, cool.
Too professional. My ex actually for Mother's Day one year got me tickets and we went when I was pregnant with my daughter.
Wow.
And so that was just as uncomfortable as it sounds. But it was great. But it was absolutely great. Like I loved it.
That's cool.
It was good. Yeah.
So what did you do fun this week?
My daughter took a metals class.
Oh, I saw your pictures on Facebook. That was cool.
She made a wind chime, but they learned how to, so like they started on Monday with like learning how to cut all the metal and then grind it, shape it, choose the different materials that they wanted to do for embellishments. She learned how to luster. They used a kiln for something. They did stuff with wire. I am definitely like the new expert on wire or metal class, right?
That's cool.
But I mean, she had a good time and it was her first event with this organization. So that was pretty cool. So we'll do it. It's like an entire crafting organization and they actually have a sewing class too.
Oh,
so
she'll love that.
And I'll look at that. Yeah, we're going to look at that the first day. She's like, they do sewing classes over there, like in another building. I was like, okay, we'll look into them. And then look at my calendar. I had a closing yesterday for a friend that I often joke. I'm like, so I told my son, I said, he always asks me like how work's going, what's going on with this house, blah, blah, blah. And he's so sweet. And the day before the closing, he's like, so are you excited for tomorrow? Because he knows like I get excited for my clients and it doesn't matter who they are. But I told him, I said, yeah, so if she asks for even one box to be moved, you're going to help her because you wouldn't be here without her. And he like looked at me. I said, she brought me the application to McDonald's and that's where I met your dad. So,
oh, cute.
And then he finally got that tooth fixed, completely fixed. It is great. He's like, it feels so weird because he is so used to not having it there because even when for years, but from the time he was 6 to 19, it was at least half, like the part that was still in his gum was his real tooth, but he had a built up tooth on it.
Yeah.
And when he was 19 is when it started to get loose and everything. And then that's when they decided that they had to go ahead and do the implant and everything. And so he's like, it's really weird because he has like a full solid tooth right there.
Yeah.
And it's almost like he's getting like the reverse phantom. You know how they say that sometimes people, when they have to get an amputation, like they have to phantom. He's like, I feel like it shouldn't be there and it's there. So like he's actually having a little bit of a not difficulty. It's weird. He's like, I'm going to eat something and he has to almost like relearn how to eat with his teeth. Like
that's
with
crazy.
having a front tooth that he's able to do that. So it's like, it's those things that like when I had my reduction that you don't realize how much you use certain parts of your body until you can't. And then you're like, I never knew that I used a chest muscle I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now, but like something like that. So,
Yeah.
and then, I had my very last board meeting as the parent rep for my daughter's school.
Aw.
And we had the last one was in person last month. I think I said that was my last meeting, and I knew that it wasn't because typically in June we kind of have more of a super informal, and then we wind up having like a small dinner or something afterwards, just like something small catered. And this meeting was completely on Zoom or on Teams. Not like that really matters and anyone's going to fact check me, but that's where it was. And we're going over the agenda. And the other thing that we do at the last meeting is always the nominations for the next year.
Mm-hmm.
And for the past 9 years, my name was on the agenda as nominating Shannon Coach for blank term year as the parent rep for the school. And I also give a report. And I was just going to say, graduation was great, blah, 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 blah. Well, the person who was in charge of the section, it's the governance, is who does like that whole nominating thing, whatever. She wasn't on yet. Like she had to hop off and then came back on real quick, or like 10 minutes later. But I looked at the thing and it said nominating a different name.
Right.
But for her 10th year. And so as I started or her 10th term, as I started to say my part, and I was like, oh, hey, like I just noticed this and I know that we had already approved the agenda, everything. I said, I didn't realize it until I looked at what she's being nominated for and it says her 10th. And I'm like, and that was for and then I lost it.
Aw.
I was like, that was for my last term. It was just like the length, they never changed it because they always they would only ever change the year. So I don't know why they didn't say like for her first term or anything. And so I like cried the whole way through. I was like, thank goodness we are not in person. And, I thank them all so much for the 13 years that she was in that school and the 10 years that I was on the board, and I can say without a doubt, like they actually care about the population that they're serving. They're not a board that just sits behind the curtain and pulls the strings and doesn't know what they're doing. They're definitely, they come to the family fun nights. They come to the holiday lunches, like they want to be involved and helping these kiddos. And the intent is that I am going to return to the board as a full board member, but we're not going to do those nominations. So this one was for officers, essentially. And they're not doing like full board nominations until the fall, even though it winds up being the same school year. And so like, that's when the terms run, whatever. That's just how they're doing it this year. We'll do the nominating of the president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, and the new parent rep. And
nice.
Yeah, that was, it was hard and I was not expecting it at all. I thought it was just going to be, I knew I was going to tear up, but like I was shaking. Like I kept choking up so much. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. But then also like a lot of the board members thanked me. And like a lot of them were like, we watched your daughter grow up with you. Like we watched her move from the different programs and stuff like that. So I'm just going to cry again over it. I cried the rest of the night. I was like, I can't stop. I didn't realize. I knew. I also lost a huge support system for myself.
Right.
That I've had for 13 years.
Right.
I lost the school that I've had for 13 years, which was a nice support system. But then I also lost the board. So I lost 2 huge support systems in the past month that I intellectually knew. And I don't think I have fully accepted it yet.
Right.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a loss. That's a huge loss.
It is. And we don't talk about it. Like it's not something that gets talked about. We talk about like our natural support systems with like our friends and our family and stuff. And sometimes that ebbs and flows, but especially when you do get a really good support and it's been more than half of her life.
Right. Right.
And now it's gone. I know I can call any of them, but it's not going to be the same.
No.
So, because they're not going to be a part of the other day-to-day stuff, like they were, even though they weren't there, but they were part of it in some way. So, all right, I'm just blabbering now. Yeah. So that was my week. Sorry, guys. I'm not going to apologize. You all know that I cry like crazy. So I did not cry at my friend's closing yesterday, though. I was just way too happy for her. Like it was. Yeah. So, all right. So yeah, join us on Thursday also, this is the last of Greg Vaughn.
Yes.
So it is Lucky part 39, Lucky and Liz part 31. I believe that was the number that we just said, and I've already closed it. So yeah, Lucky 39, Liz 31. So, yep, and have a happy 4th of July.
And a good week.
We'd have the good week before the happy 4th of July.
Oh,
So sorry
true.
about that.
No, yeah, that's true. Enjoy those fireworks.
Yes. And we'll meet you at the pier.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's show, we invite you to go to peer54podcast.com to subscribe on your favorite platform. Don't forget to leave us a review.
And you can also follow us on many social media channels. Just search for Peer 54 Podcast. Also, we are not perfect, so if there is something that we missed or messed up, just let us know by emailing us at peer54podcast@gmail.com.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But here's a big one you need to hear. Billions. That's the amount of money in refunds the IRS has flagged for possible identity fraud. Now here's another big number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. One last big number. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.